intro! What's up, people of the internet, and welcome back after a week of my absence. I don't know how you guys survived, but came back from Seaside, Oregon, and then went straight to Squim State Park in Washington with my friends. And I was really looking forward to coming home after almost like a week of being gone, and watching some videos and, you know, catching up on the latest video game news and eating a sandwich. And you know what greets me at the door? No internet. No lunch meat, and a blistering hot house. So, perfect weather and circumstance for commentating, looking on the bright side. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Not actually, but do what I can. This is actually my highest kill game I've ever gotten. I get 83 kills, I get 17 deaths, I get 5 captures and 4 defends. And I get a sexy triple headshot feed at the very end with my M60. And I'm using a crossbow and managed to get a kill with it. So that's basically the best thing ever. So time to dive right into commentating. I went on a fishing trip while I was in Seaside, Oregon, which is odd since I don't like fish and I really detest seafood of all kinds. But I like the ocean. It's nice, it's cold, I don't know, it's fun. But ended up going on this fishing trip with 8 other members of my family, which was actually really fun and I really enjoyed, other than the fact that I caught fish and I was out on a boat for 7 hours. But it was awesome. Ended up catching a silver salmon, I believe it was called, and then I caught one more fish but had to throw it back just because it was too small or it was native fish, since you're not allowed to catch native fish. And look at this crossbow kill. Boom! It's always satisfying when you get those. But fishing was really fun and ended up getting some good stories from it. My littlest cousin, who is probably about 3 to 4 feet in height, he ends up catching this monster of a king salmon. It's as wide as him and as tall as him, and basically he was just like, yep, that's how it's done, and then took a 6-hour nap. He just showed all of us up. We all tried to get a fish for 7 hours. He catches the biggest one and just leaves. That's how to do it. And then my other cousin, who is his brother, ended up catching or reeling in 11 fish, and all 11 fish he couldn't keep. That was kind of hilarious, since he kept getting more and more frustrated as the day went on and he couldn't get fish, and he just always would say, like, I hate fishing, I'm never going fishing again. It was really entertaining to watch. I speeded up Chopper Gunner just since it's Chopper Gunner. You guys know what happens in it. Lots and lots of kills. My sister was also equally unlucky. Every time she got close to a pole, someone else, or like, she was watching 2 poles at once, and she would move slightly to the left or right, and depending on like which she thought would get bit first. And so my cousin, who's the one that reeled in the 11 fish, is walking by, and she moved to like the side and backed up, so he was really close to one of the rods and she was close to the other because he wanted to get by. And the rod right next to my little cousin just goes crazy and he ends up reeling in a fish, but it's too small to keep anyway. But it was quite hilarious just to see my sister just kind of lose it almost. But after the fishing adventure, after 7 hours of fishing, we went to downtown Seaside. Ended up getting 2 pounds of fudge and eating that in 2 days, which was a terrible, terrible thing to do, and I felt very bad and wanted to vomit the entire 2 days. But it was fudge, so it was amazing. Can't help but love fudge. Chocolate and walnut is the best fudge combination by far, in my opinion, just to get that out of the way. But then we were walking back from the town, and this was right after getting the fudge. And so I see this random guy, he's just chilling, he looks like a cool dude, and he says hi. And so I thought it was directed at me, so I start to wave at him. And then I realized, like, as I was like moving my hand up to wave, that he wasn't talking to me and he was talking to some other person that was completely in the different direction. I don't know why I thought he was saying hi to me. But then I had to do the awkward, like, caress my own hair with my hand. But it was completely, like, if he looked at me, he probably would have laughed. But I started to wave and then just had to. Oh, it was bad. I hate it when I do that. I do that every now and then. Or when you think someone's talking to you and you talk back to them and like try to start a conversation, and then they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and then they just talk to the person that they actually meant to talk to. But yeah, I'm a failure and I know it. But I'm sexy and I know it. And then I went to Squim, which was a great, nice place, just kind of calm, cool, hang out with my friends, went swimming a lot, even though the water's terribly, terribly freezing cold. If you ever swim in Puget Sound, you'll know it's just freezing. But Squim was really good. We spent 4 days there, and one of the coolest parts of that trip was the fact that bioluminescence was happening in the water at the time. Around this time, a lot of bioluminescence happens in the Puget Sound. And bioluminescence is when, I don't want to say algae, but I think it's algae in the water, is releasing light. I don't know why it releases. I honestly don't know why it happens. It's just, whatever you do in the water, light happens. I'm explaining this terribly, but it's a really cool natural phenomena that is just, you want to go swimming in it, and you just turn into this turquoise fireball in the water, and it's so fun to just like punch and pretend you're like Super Saiyan, like shooting flames from your hand, doing kamehamehas and hadoukens and all the stuff that childish Daniel would have done. But it's so fun, and it's just the coolest looking thing. I really wish like everyone could see it, because it honestly is just amazing. Also, at this point, this was a very close game. We're getting triple capped, and I'm very glad we won this game, just because it was a close game. It was cool. But splashing of the water, just everything, like skipping rocks becomes infinitely cooler, because you just see the ripples of light. And then we watched stars, and saw a whole bunch of shooting stars and constellations. And it was really just a cool place to be. And the raccoons there were probably the one part that I really didn't like, and that was because they basically just ransacked our campsite at one, like, they did it periodically throughout the trip, but the last night they just went to town and ended up getting this huge, probably 18-inch container by like 6 inches of just trail mix, pub mix stuff, and they managed to unscrew the top and eat almost all of it. They took all our garbage and spread it throughout the entire campsite. I think they ended up moving like half our pots and pans. I don't know how raccoons managed to do this, but they did, and it was terrible because we had to clean it all up. But it was also convenient, since we didn't have to clean up any of the food, because, well, it was all eaten by raccoons. And they also had these little chipmunks that are the most adorable things that you just wanted to like hug, but you can never get close enough to like touch them or pet them. And they were really just these adorable little fluff balls. I love chipmunks. They're so derpy and cute. But gameplay is coming to an end here. I did awesome on this, probably due to the lots of blackbirds I think my team got. I think there was more time in this game where blackbirds were up than time where there wasn't a blackbird, which is kind of sad, but oh well. We kind of raffle stomped the other team kills wise, and they managed to put up a good fight. So I'm going to be quiet for the triple headshot. Thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.
Good job, team. Stand by for further orders.